Everyone could find a seat. Thank you. You see any other electeds? Okay. All right. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Board of Supervisors meeting for January 6, 2015. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. The roll call, please.
Supervisor Groom,
Present.
Supervisor Horsley,
Here.
Supervisor Slocum,
Here.
Supervisor Tissier. Here. President Pine.
And I'm here as well. We're all present. Before we begin public comment, I'd just like to recognize some of elected officials from outside our county organization that are here today. Marge Colapietro from the city of Millbrae, Mario Rendon representing Kevin Mullins' office, our assembly member, and Mark Hirschman representing our state senator, Jerry Hill. So we'll move to the public comment. We do have three speakers. Right, well, it appears we have two speakers who'd like to speak on IHSS. So we'll start with Myrna Brown.
Supervisors, and Happy New Year to everyone. My name is Myrna Bravo. I am one of the arrestees last time over here in this hall. And to be arrested is not really fun, but it is quite an experience to me. In the last couple of months, we fought for livable wages. Yet the county is only giving us $12.65, and most of us need to wait months and months for our medical coverage. Getting arrested is only one thing that I can show to the county and to my community as a home care worker. Because I know that the county is like unfair to the home care worker. So I wanted to show them that I am one of the home care that's been arrested. I take good care of a 93 years old lady. She's very old, elderly. And I take good care of her. I have prepared breakfast for her. And in the morning, every day, I have to clean her up and then make her dry and comfortable. And then I prepare breakfast for her as if I am a nurse to her, but I paid only this much money as a nurse to my client. You always said that you value hard work because a home care worker is really hard working to the client, especially when you're working with an elderly. What you said through our action by providing us a livable wages because we work so hard. I believe can be then, if not as less, can do better more than $12.65 an hour for the home care worker.
Thank you. And Celia Ip.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Celia Yip. I am a home care worker. Before I was a bookkeeper. Due to the economy crisis, I was laid off at the age over 60, and I do not have higher education. I only had the AA degree in community college. So it's hard for me to find another bookkeeper position. So I'm glad I can do the home care. I still can support myself. the life in the San Mateo County. However, only 1150 is hard for me to support myself in the living in this county. So I worked over 12 hours per day. So it's everything expensive in the county. So I work over 12 hours per day. But I still have my pie because I support myself. I do not need any social welfare to support myself. So San Mateo County is one of the richest counties in the nation. So I am glad had this in-home support service program in the county. So not only our home care provider had make their part, and the receiver also had the peaceful life in the county. So, but the home care worker is not only with the hour and the energy. We only use our heart because we take care the receiver. We still need our heart. So it's well, please give the fair wages for the home care giver. Thank you.
Thank you for coming today. And our last speaker wouldn't be a public comment session without Mr. Marty Fox.
Good morning, President Pine, members of the board, my fellow veterans, Supervisor Slocum and Mr. Bareilles, and County Council and Mr. Byers. Thank you for your service to the county. Please vote to implement Laura's Law now. Thank you, Mr. Bareilles, for responding to the complaints of workplace violence made by the San Mateo County Medical Center's Psychiatric Emergency Services and Psychiatric Inpatient Nurses by recommending the identification of ways to more aggressively intervene in mental health cases, be given a funding priority in your December 2nd memorandum to the board. The nurses have experienced workplace violence in 2010, 2013, and 2014. All human life is important, including the lives of psychiatric nurses and law enforcement officers, like the Millbury police officer who died at the hands of a mentally ill man, as well as the lives of persons with adult-onset mental illness. Many of the parents of adult children living with serious mental illness that I know are willing to risk injury or death because the health system's policies and procedures deny treatment to persons living with serious mental illness who are so sick they cannot seek treatment voluntarily until they become a threat to themselves, others, or are gravely disabled. And because, instead of providing treatment when it is needed, the use of force is invited by dispatching law enforcement officers to address a mental health crisis. Laura's Law has been approved in 7 counties, including Los Angeles County, Orange County, Placer County, Yolo County, Nevada County, and even San Francisco. San Diego County is expected to vote in favor of Laura's Law later this month. San Mateo County should respect the lives of persons living with mental illness this year, so we don't have any more Edgar Aristandos, Robert Canos, Errol Changs, or Yanira Serranos. Please vote to implement Laura's Law now.
Thank you, Mr. Fox. I did receive another speaker slip. Does Len Matterman, would you like to take a moment?
Thank you very much. It was suggested that I make these comments during public comment. They relate to a future agenda item, but I wanted to say that I'm pleased to say a few words about the leadership of Dave Pine over the last year. And I run the San Francisco Creek Joint Powers Authority. Dave Pine is on our board. Warren Slocum is a very active alternate on our board. Carol Groom was on our board. Most of our watershed is in Mr. Horsley's district, so we have a lot of connections to this board, which has been great. 2 of the major accomplishments of the JPA relate to, over the past year, relate to a agreement among San Mateo County, the JPA, and 4 other jurisdictions to begin capital work to prevent flooding in East Palo Alto and Palo Alto, and protection against sea level rise, as well as another project related to sea level rise that extends from the Menlo Park Redwood City border all the way to the Mountain View Palo Alto border. So it's 9 miles of shoreline. Every year, the Board of Supervisors tackles many challenges, including urgent short-term challenges, and this is what we expect. Former U.S. Commerce Secretary Pete Peterson once said that the future is unrepresented by politicians. It is unexpected and even noteworthy when an elected official uses their time and leadership to make progress on urgent, long-term problems. Dave Pine used part of his year as president of the Board of Supervisors and on regional bodies as your representative to address urgent, long-term, difficult, related challenges of water and sea level rise. I spend my time to get adjacent government agencies to move forward on these types of issues. And so what I've seen over the last 12 months is San Mateo County is laying the groundwork for a coherent program that can have a positive impact in the future. This fact is known by many residents and business owners in this county, and it's unknown by many more residents and business owners. So I hope I'm not being too presumptuous to say on behalf of them, thanks, Dave, for your leadership to move this forward over the past year.
I appreciate those kind remarks, Lennon. It's, working with you is a real privilege as well. You've been a remarkable leader for the San Mosquito Creek Joint Powers Authority and are making important things happen to protect residents in that area and have a healthy watershed. So I thank you as well. Okay, we'll now consider an action to set the agenda and approve the consent items.
I'll move to set the agenda and to approve the consent agenda items.
Second.
So the motion is made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
That is approved. Let me also note that a couple other elected officials from outside the county family have joined us. That was our Marina Frazier from the Half Moon Bay City Council, Cliff Lentz from the Brisbane City Council, and Virginia Corrali from the Menlo Park Fire District. We'll now proceed with a poetry reading. Supervisor Slocum, if you'd like to introduce the matter.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Happy New Year to everybody. Carolyn Goodwin is here. As you know, she's our San Mateo County Poet Laureate, the first Poet Laureate in San Mateo County. And she has a special poem to kick off the new year, which is called When the Rain. So without further ado, let me introduce our Poet Laureate, Carolyn Goodwin.
Thank you, and good morning. Happy New Year. And thanks for making space for poetry in San Mateo County in 2014. Really looking forward to the next year, which will be the last year of my term. So look for Poetry is Love in February, and Poetry is Our Heritage in April, I think end of April. And I'm grateful for the chance to read this poem today. So thanks for listening. When the Rain. When we watch over the beach, over the snowy plover seeking shelter in the couch grass, when we hold our hands open to the west and forget ourselves in the narrow corridor in filaments of sunlight that remain, when we detect the first dry leaves along the pavement scratching at our arms and remember the blood in Ferguson, in Jasper, in Iguala, in our streets, when we pause, when the trees light up our living rooms with silver tinsel and ornaments, when we drink the clear water, the clean water, when the sky returns to its feathered clouds in stillness, and we come out, let us come out with our eyes open and with our hearts prepared for both the battle and the feast. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn.
We'll now move to the Oath of office. Had an election, as folks will recall, back in June of last year, where fortunately my colleague Supervisor Carol Groom and Supervisor Don Horsley were re-elected in the first district election held in San Mateo County since 1930 or somewhere in that vicinity. And so we're fortunate to have the Honorable Robert Foyles from the Chief Justice from the Superior Court to swear them in today. So, Mr. Foyles, and I guess you'll go to the front. Well, this is always a happy day. It's the best part of the first meeting of the year. Exactly. So if I could have you both raise your right hands and repeat after me. I state your name. I, Carol Groom. Do solemnly swear or affirm. That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of California. Against all enemies. Foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance. To the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of California. That I take this obligation freely. Without any mental reservation. Or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully. Discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter. Congratulations. So since you were just sworn in now, does that mean you weren't actually, your votes weren't effective in the past 6 months? Or I'll assume they were okay. Mr. Byers? All right. It's now time to nominate and elect a new president and vice president for the Board of Supervisors for 2015. So I'd like to open the floor to nominations for the president of the Board of Supervisors.
Mr. President, it's my pleasure to nominate Carol Groom as our future president for the year 2015.
Second.
Any further nominations?
I'll move to close the nominations.
Second.
The nominations have been put forward. Our colleague Supervisor Carol Groom is nominated to serve as president in 2015. If we'll take a vote on that, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Congratulations, Supervisor Groom.
Thank you, Supervisor Brown.
We'll do vice chair too? Okay. Well, while we're at it, we'll also elect a vice chair. So we'll open the floor to nominations for vice chair of the San Mateo County Board of Supervisors.
Former President Pine, I would like to nominate Supervisor Warren Slocum as the vice chair of the board for
Second.
2015.
There's a motion made and seconded for Mr. Slocum. Any other nominations?
I'll move to close the nominations.
Second.
There's been motion to approve my colleague Supervisor Slocum as vice president of the board. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Congratulations, Ms. Slocum.
There's a tradition that you'll say a few remarks, but before you do that, I'd like to present to you a gift on behalf of all of us. And you've often stood outside my door and told me about a favorite place of yours to go on the weekend with your children. So I think you might enjoy this.
Very exciting. Christmas isn't over.
Today is Little Christmas, you know.
San Bruno Mountain State Park and County Park, San Mateo County. Thank you very much. I really very much appreciate that. We do like to get out in the parks and It's nice to have one so close by that we can visit with my family. So I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Madam President, the staff also has a gift they would like to present to outgoing President Pine. As we thought about the appropriate gift for this occasion, we thought about past administrations. John Kennedy, of course, passed the historic Missile Treaty, Lyndon Johnson, the Civil Rights Act, Nixon had détente with Russia and opened the way to China. Reagan and Bush saw the demise of communism in the Soviet Union, and of course, President Obama saw the passage of Obamacare. So we solicited far and wide for the great accomplishment of this administration, and we think this gift has accomplished that.
I wonder what it could be. There's so many accomplishments. Clearly, this must be the most important. Thanks, Dave, for pining over me for so long and finally getting me replaced. This is the carpet in front of the Board of Supervisor offices. Yeah.
That's great.
The day it was installed, I did walk down to Mr. Maltby's office and I tendered my resignation. He would not accept it. I thought my life's work was complete, but he convinced me there were other challenges I could take on.
That's great.
Well, thank you for those nice gifts in the recognition. Good morning to everyone and Happy New Year. Everyone remember it's 2:15 when you write those checks. It takes a little while. It really has been a privilege to serve as the president of the Board of Supervisors. I've enjoyed it immensely. The San Mateo County government is just an amazingly diverse and complex organization, and collectively we do remarkable work for the citizens of this county. So as we start the new year, and I have handed the gavel off to my colleague Supervisor Groom, I just wanted to speak briefly and just highlight some of the things that occurred over the last year. It'll be a partial list. I think it is maybe helpful to look back a little bit. I think overall this year has been one that's really characterized by investment in new initiatives. When I joined the board in 2011, it was still the Great Recession, and everything was about cuts and the difficulties of the budget. But we're in a very different place now, in a place of fiscal strength. In fact, we supplemented that with the sale of Circle Star this year, which was handled very well by our staff. We also have some time under our belt now with the implementation of Measure A, which is really a historic measure that has opened all kinds of opportunities for the county. But those funds have been at work for some time now, and lots of good things are happening. The Big Lift under Supervisor Groom is thriving, and in fact, recently, as you all know, received a substantial grant from the federal government, if I recall, about $16 million. North Fair Oaks has been moving rapidly under the leadership of Supervisor Slocum. Measure A funds also went into parks, among other areas, and it's just so exciting with Devil's Slide and Lomamar, and Supervisor Horsley, of course, is pivotal there. Very excited about the investments in the Coriolis planning process, just to name a few of Measure A. So those are monies at work. Two big efforts that are kind of ongoing in the county, which we've made real headway on, are realignment and the Affordable Care Act. Realignment, of course, under the leadership of Adrian Tissier, continues to go very, very well, and there's much to talk about there. We transitioned Achieve 180 into a new county program. We transitioned the Davis Lewis Community Center into a county kind of a county-supported effort. We found funds to support a court commissioner. So we continue to make real investments to make realignment success. On ACA, I couldn't be prouder of how our county has performed. I went back and looked at some of my old notes, and I believe when ACA the Affordable Care Act was first contemplated, we were hopeful that we would enroll about 10,000 people under Medi-Cal expansion and about 14,000 people under the Covered California provision. But at the end of the enrollment period, on April 15th of last year, in fact, we did 17,000 under Medi-Cal and 27,000 under Covered California, and we were recognized as at the top county for our enrollment efforts under ACA. And this has made such a tremendous difference to people. To have insurance is a game changer for people in our county, and I'm just real proud of the fact that we could extend coverage to over 44,000 people, and that number has grown since. We've also seen a lot of changes on our personnel, and I'm very excited to welcome and to work with Marlene Finley, our new Parks Director, Ileana Rodriguez, who's moved over to Health and Human Services. It's been terrific to have Mike Callaghy on board, and we also welcome Juan Riagosa, our new controller. So those are four very competent people that I think we're incredibly fortunate to have in important leadership positions in the county. And they joined just an incredibly talented staff here that makes all the difference. I want to just take a moment, though, to particularly thank County Manager John Maltby and County Council John Byers for their excellent work. I talk to them every day, sometimes 7 days a week, but certainly 5 days a week. And their intellects are superb. Their dedication to public service is second to none. And I learn a great deal from them, and makes working here a real privilege. So I just want to thank them in particular. A couple other things by way of summary, and I'm very excited by the fact that we're really pioneering some new ways of doing business. We're trying a lot of new things, and we've made some real progress on those. For example, the performance dashboards. I just had a chance to have an update on those yesterday, and they've really come a long way. And I foresee that that's going to become a very powerful tool for us to measure our performance. It's so difficult for counties, for government to try to measure what it does. Are we investing? Are we attaining the results we hope with the investments we make? The LEAP process continues to make fundamental positive change, particularly, of course, in our health department. And I'm very excited about some of our outreach efforts with the social media, the new website, and our focus on outreach. So these are all new initiatives that I think are gaining traction, and I think we're distinguishing ourselves by focusing on them. I have, of course, been very involved in climate change-related issues. I'm excited that we have a new Office of Sustainability. They have been of terrific help to me in my efforts working on sea level rise and our new exploration of community choice aggregation as a possible new means of providing clean energy to the citizens of San Mateo County. On the housing front, that I think is perhaps our most daunting and difficult problem. That's, of course, with the booming economy, it just seems like the rents and the housing prices are just in the stratosphere. We have tried and done things other counties haven't in setting up, in putting some of our redevelopment money back into housing, which we did this year. And we continue to work on that issue. It's one I think that we cannot obviously solve on our own, but it's one we just have to stay focused on. And then finally, again, just by way of example, we've had some other new initiatives such as the multi-unit smoking ordinance and the creation of the new Lgbtq commission, which again just kind of exemplify the fact that we're willing to take leadership role in this county, and I'm really proud of my colleagues and the staff for stepping forward on issues of these kind. So I could continue on and summarize other activities and talk about other initiatives underway, but I'll just conclude by saying that we're just extremely fortunate to live in this county and to have the fiscal resources that we do and to have the talented people that we do, which just provide us with a remarkable opportunity to continue to affect real positive change in this county. So I'm looking forward to doing that with my colleagues in 2015, and under the leadership of Supervisor Groom, I'm sure that our list of accomplishments next year will be even lengthier. So I thank everyone for their support during my tenure as president. Again, it's something I've enjoyed, and it's been a privilege to serve in this role. Thank you.
Supervisor Warren, Vice Chair Warren, would you like to make a few remarks?
Excuse me. Just wanted to say congratulations to, I guess now, former President Pine on his tenure as president. I learned a lot from watching Supervisor Pine and talking to him, and had the advantage of benefiting from his counsel from time to time on issues, and I appreciate that. I especially appreciate his leadership. In fact, I appreciate it so much that I think we tweeted it last night. So with that, I would just say that I'm looking forward to 2015, looking forward to working with new President Groom and all of the board members to continue that tradition of innovation, achievement, and excellence here in San Mateo County. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Supervisor Horsley?
Yeah, I'd also like to really thank Supervisor Pine. Your thoughtful analysis of issues is, I thought, really appreciated. And your legal background, your technical knowledge, I thought was really, you brought that to all of the discussions, and I thought in a way that I thought was really very helpful. And really helpful thinking I think for the public to understand sometimes how we make decisions. I thought there's a quote here that I wanted to read. It's from John Kenneth Galbraith, and it says, "All of the great leaders have had one characteristic in common. It was the willingness to confront unequivocally the major anxiety of their people in their time. This, and not much else, is the essence of leadership." And I'd asked my children at one time, what do they think was the most pressing issue for our times? And they said, climate change. And that's something that you have tackled and taken a leadership position in this county. And, I've noticed that there are other leaders, like the governor is now saying this, and I have to say, but you were one of the first in this whole county to take a leadership position. Salute you for that, and really congratulate you. And I think it was really a fabulous and successful year.
Thank you, Don.
Supervisor Tissier?
Dave, I also want to congratulate you. I don't think people realize, but when you chair the board, it takes a lot more time than when you're not the chair of the board. You have to do a lot more. You have to go to a lot more events. And you're also trying to move the board forward in a positive way. And you've done a tremendous job. And Don really touched on it. A lot of people will look at a big issue and they'll want to shy away from it. And this is an issue that's sea level rise. It's going to be with us for a long time. And, today it's popular, tomorrow it won't be, but I know that your stick-to-itiveness will make sure that it continues to be on the forefront in years to come, and we can't lose sight of that. So I thank you for that great leadership. And I also appreciate the fact that you and your children spend a lot of time on San Bruno Mountain. We've had a lot of discussions about issues around San Bruno Mountain, and it is a beautiful place, and you've really brought it even more so to light to me because you spend a lot of time and your children really love it. So congratulations on your successful year, and I look forward to continuing to work with you.
Thank you.
I do like Dave. We've had some very contentious meetings over this last year, and you have conducted them with the calmness and the coolness and the great aplomb of making sure that every voice is heard and every voice is heard thoroughly. And that isn't always easy, but you have led us through some of these difficult times. And I really think that we thank you for that. It's always good when the person at the helm is calm. It's always good. Obviously your work on BCDC and your work on the San Francisco Quito Creek. It just goes right along with your theme, and those are all necessary projects that a lot of people don't know about. They don't know what we do in some of our extracurricular assignments, and you've taken those two and really made a major statement on both of those boards. So again, thank you for being our president, and you get a year off now.
All right.
I'd like to make a couple comments, if I may. I'd first like to thank Judge Foyles. Thank you very much for joining us this morning and swearing us in. That really meant a lot to me to have you do that, Bob. So thank you very much. And just want to say a couple of comments, if I can. That I came to San Mateo in 1976, and I found this very special place that just grows and grows on us all. It's a collaborative county, it's a innovative county, it's a cooperating county, it's a friendly county, and it really enables all of us who hold office to be able to get a lot done because everybody wants to help. Everybody wants to chime in and join with us. And so, to me, what we do our job as one in San Mateo County. We do our job as one. We partner with our 20 cities. We partner with our unincorporated neighborhoods. We partner with a number of not-for-profits. We work with state and federal agencies. We work with the labor community. We work with the faith community. We have the best local delegation of elected officials anywhere. We are blessed to have Assemblymember Mullen, Assemblymember Gordon, State Senator Jerry Hill, State Senator Mark Leno, Assemblymember Ting, who represents the northern part of our county. But when any one of us pick up the phone and call those gentlemen, stuff gets done. And we are so grateful that they are part of our team in again, doing the work that we do. We have an excellent assortment of members of our county boards and commission who work tirelessly, who toil late at night, getting things done for this community, hearing the public again speak. And I also want to offer a very special salute to every one of our talented and dedicated and hardworking county employees. They are the best. Every day they serve the varied needs of San Mateo County residents. And when extraordinary events occur, and we've had more than our share, they are there no matter the hour, and they never leave until the job is done. And they don't always get recognized because many of them work just anonymously, but we just have the best employees, and that's what keep this county, that's another thing that just continue to keep this county strong. Our overarching goals, I think, for the next year remain pretty much the same. We must keep San Mateo County safe and healthy. We must provide services for the most vulnerable of populations. We preserve and protect our precious open space and parklands. And we must maintain a strong fiscal position, balanced budgets, and very healthy reserves. We all know that we need to save for that rainy day. Every one of us on this board works on special projects. Dave mentioned some of them, but Dave has led the way on sea rise and flooding issues and climate control. Adrian and Don have led the way on an initiative that we call Beyond Newtown, making sure, along with the sheriff and Ann Campbell from the County Office of Education, that we have safe schools and we have much enhanced mental health services, especially for our children. They took the bull by the horns after Newtown occurred and said, we can never let this happen in this county, and let's start to work right now. Warren has led the revitalization and the renaissance of North Fair Oaks, going to be the most vibrant community in our county when he and his gang are finished, and those residents will see a new way of life, I think. And, I've spent a lot of time working on a third grade initiative called The Big Lift. I will continue to do that along with my many partners. It's just, we would like to have two full years of preschool in this county to make sure that children are ready to learn when they arrive at kindergarten and first grade. We've been very fortunate with the generosity of this board as well as the federal government. We received social innovation fund grant of $15 million from the federal government. They ranked our application as the finest that they had seen in this process. And so with all of us working there, we will continue, we will have a strong children, reading children, ready to take the reins in a few years from us. For 2015, I think, of course, we need to continue with Measure A. And again, I'd like to thank the voters of San Mateo for being so generous in approving a sales tax initiative that has just given us the ability to be so much more flexible. We are going to begin studying the potential for enacting a livable wage in this county. We have heard everyone loud and clear. Through our new Office of Sustainability with Dave's leadership, we'll be setting the groundwork for a community choice aggregation, a local energy model to green the grid. Dave will lead this. We are all with him on this. Our Office of Sustainability is already working with some outside consultants to get this going. Adrian's going to lead an initiative this year, a plan to combat elder abuse. The grand jury pointed this out to us a couple of years ago, and so that process will be underway. And we will take on, obviously, other special needs as they arise with task forces and committees. This board, this staff is always willing to tackle anything that comes to us. We don't shy away from tough issues. In fact, I think sometimes we welcome tough issues because it makes us think a little more, and it gets, again, a much stronger community involvement. So again, I would like to thank you all for asking me to serve as president this year. It's a great honor. What we do together. We do together to continue to make San Mateo County the very, very best place to live, to work, and to raise a family. So thank you very much for asking me to be the president again. And so we are going to adjourn. We are going to adjourn to a reception and have a little breakfast and mingle with your friends. And that's the end of our meeting. Thank you very much. We will have another meeting on January the 13th and get some business done.
Very good.
Supervisor Groom, we do have two short items on the regular agenda.
Okay.
So I think we're going to adjourn to reception and maybe come back and deal with
all
those
right.
short
Okay.
items.
That's good. We're not going to adjourn quite yet.
Oh, we're going to come back. Okay.
We're going to come back. We'll reconvene and go to the county manager's report.
Madam President and members of the board, my report is brief today. The first topic on my report is Measure A. We expanded the Measure A informational sessions at the direction of the board to include the Sobrato Center in Redwood Shores, Belmont, Daly City, and East Palo Alto and Half Moon Bay. The sessions were well attended and the information extremely well received. This Friday will be the date that we will receive our initial letters of intent. We've had requests from members of the board to see those letters of intent, so we'll make all the copies available to each member of the board, so you can look at sort of the raw copies. Obviously, as you're aware, the process now starts where those become vetted through the departments. We're also going to try to categorize those into some of the big themes that we've been hearing from the board so that we could really take on some major issues. There is a typo I would note under Measure A. It says it sunsets in 2013. That's a typo. It's 2/23, in case you were worried. Second item is the Veterans Assessment will be before the board on the 13th. We're very excited about the information that we've been gathering and look forward to sharing that with the board and obviously in our 2015-17 budget to be making proposals that address some of the unmet needs of veterans in our county. And finally, the Workday project, the replacement of our payroll HR system is on time and within budget. And as you know, our old system is what they call a legacy system and is limping along. And we're anxiously, as I show the controller is, anxiously awaiting getting the new system installed. So if you have any questions or comments, I'll be happy to. One final item, as I know the board is aware, we have appointed a new Director of County Communications and Public Information, Michelle Duran, and her first day, I believe, is January 19th.
Thank you, Mr. Maltby. Any questions for Mr. Maltby? All right. Board member reports. Supervisor Horsley, start with you.
I have no report, just be honored to serve with you for the next 2015.
Well, thank you. Vice President Slocum.
Yeah, thank you. Just quickly, on December 16th, we had our annual community potluck in North Fair Oaks. And let me just publicly thank Irving Torres, who really did all the work in organizing that. We honored this year Bareilles Gillette, the outgoing CEO of the credit union, for all the credit unions work in North Fair Oaks in the support of the various programs that we've done these past couple years. And actually, the award that we gave out is called the Reuben Bareilles Award.
Oh, nice.
And Reuben Bareilles was actually at the event and actually came up on stage and helped present that award to Barry. And of course, they knew one another from years ago. So it was really great having Reuben there. As I mentioned, 100 people, lots of great food. And it was just, community members who came to have a holiday dinner. It was quite special. Thank you.
Thank you, President Groom. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
Eh.
I just have one adjourn in memory, and that is for Geraldine Kershaw. She's the mother of Deborah Odom, who is the director of RSVP of San Mateo and Santa Clara counties. She died at the age of 90 on Sunday, December 21st of Alzheimer's. She was a devoted wife and mother. She was born in 1924 in San Mateo. She attended San Mateo High School and graduated there in 1942. And in 1947, she was married to George Frederick Kershaw, and she is survived by 4 children, 6 grandchildren, and 4 great-grandchildren. And our sympathies go out to Deborah Odom and her family.
Deborah Odom is a wonderful person. She has been the RSVP leader for at least 20 years and has done great work. Supervisor Pine?
Just make one announcement that with the help of Human Service Agency and the Health Department, we've been organizing a health fair and ACA enrollment in South San Francisco this Saturday from 9 to noon. And done a lot of outreach, particularly to the Spanish-speaking community, and see if we can keep this momentum going with our good enrollment numbers.
And unless there's anything else, I think that will conclude today's meeting. Our next meeting will be January the 13th.
Thank you.
Excellent.